Hi guys, and welcome to All About the Philippines. Now, today I wanted to just have a quick chat about a video I did back in February of 2019, so February of this year. And it was called the Hidden Filipino Scam. Now, in the past week or so, this has been getting a lot of views, well over 1,000 a day on average, and we're up to over 22,000 views on this particular video. So it's drawn quite a bit of attention, and we've had a lot of comments. There's been a lot of comments that I haven't even been able to approve to put on here because they've been quite, Filipinos, when they feel they're being attacked in some way, or they get rather defensive very easily without listening to the whole story a lot of the time. So there's a lot of comments that I couldn't put on there. Now what this video was about was saying the Hidden Filipino Scam is basically a couple scam in the Philippines. So it's where a man and a woman in the Philippines are married, and the man will get his Filipino wife to contact a Western man, usually on the internet, on chat sites, and try and get money out of him so they can have a better life there in the Philippines for the whole family. And sometimes that man will go to meet the Filipina in the Philippines, and the husband might say to the Filipina, yep, go off and be with him for 2 weeks or a week, whatever, however long he's there. Just make sure you get plenty of money and bring it home to the family. And so this is what they do. Now, this is not every Filipino or Filipina marriage in the Philippines. It is just some scams that go on in the Philippines that people need to be aware of when they're looking for a Filipina to have a relationship with, so they don't get sucked in and they don't get scammed. So again, I want to make a point that I believe the Filipino people overall are the most friendly and hospitable people in the world, but this does go on there. And for those people that were giving me a lot of abuse about this and saying it's not true, blah blah blah, and telling me in no uncertain terms what I could go and do with myself, then I direct you to Raffy Tulfo. He just recently did a video. Now, we're not going to play this video because we don't want to get copyrighted, but Raffy Tulfo show there on YouTube. It will tell you their part 1, Swedish national, whatever those words are in Tagalog or Filipino. Basically what that is the same story. This Swedish man was scammed by a Filipina who was married, and he found out after it was all too late, and it cost him quite a lot of money. And Raffy Tulfo was taking her to task. She admitted, yes, I'm married and I did take him, and there was some sort of agreement to pay some of the money back, if not all of it. I'm not sure how that ended up, but my point being that what I was saying in that video back in February of this year is proven here that it's all very true, because it's on Raffy Tulfo show. But all the Filipinos that had a go at me about it, why don't they go and have a go at Raffy Tulfo for talking about it and exposing a Filipina for doing exactly the same thing? Bit of double standards. It seems that if I talk about this stuff to warn other foreigners so they don't get scammed, that I'm the worst in the world. But if Raffy Tulfo talks about it, there's no problem. They're all then saying how terrible the Filipina is. So if you haven't seen that, pop over. I'm going to put a link below to this video on Raffy Tulfo show, and I'll also put a link to my Hidden Filipino Scam video if you haven't seen it already, so you can go and check it out. Then come back and put your comments below and tell me what you think about it all. There's a few comments there. Ray Haffenden, he says, it's not just Filipino, it's the world, man. I've been happily married to a Filipino for 27 years and the family have not once asked for money. I have, however, helped out buying the odd laptop for a niece and helped paying college university fees, for which I'm proud. Also give them my old out of contract cell phone. So yeah, it's really nice, mate. That's fantastic. And You're right. It's not just in the Philippines these sorts of things happen, but as we have a Philippines channel, we do talk about things that go on in the Philippines. But I certainly agree it happens in other countries as well. This guy here, Smiley, says, when a girl asks you for money, run as fast as you can, don't look back. Then your problem will be over. This one here, this first and last swagman, they're all got money. They're all on meth. And they all wear glasses, even the boys. Good luck. Well, bit of a comedian, anyway. That's pretty mild to some of the comments that I did get. Philippines fun with JLB and friends. Yeah, my second to last one was secretly married. I went into deep into the province at her parents' house. So lucky I wasn't chopped up. Yeah, well, we're glad you got back, JLB. Then there's Scott Eppinger. Says, be careful getting married inside the Philippines, especially if you're a drinker or may have a drinking problem. Everything will seem fine, and then you make the commitment to get married and buy a property, build a house, maybe even have a child. As soon as all the latter is done, the problems begin and can become very troubling. Compounded by perceived drinking problem, arguments will become commonplace and persistent to a point wherein the foreigner has to go up and run home. End result is, Filipina got the house and you are now out of the country. You're left to avoid more trouble. You absolutely cannot get your investment back because of the laws regarding properties. And well, that's true enough that if you can't, as a foreigner, you can't own land in the Philippines. So if you've got a house there in the Philippines, it becomes your wife's, and if you break up, then of course she's going to get that. So that's why I say if you're going to do things like that in the Philippines, do it to the point you can afford. Don't go beyond what you might end up losing. Here we've got Ping Flores. A lot of male foreigners are scammers too. False promises to their girlfriends, then hunt for the next woman they can exploit. It takes one to know one. Try going to Thailand and you'll have the same problem. Look for a woman in decent places with good education and with a good job. Maybe you should just get out of the country and find yourself the perfect one in your own country. Just my opinion. God bless. And of course there are male foreign scammers as well, which I have done videos on as well. So I don't just give one point of view on here. I show both points here. So there's scammers from the Philippines and there's also scammers from Western countries trying to exploit Filipinas. Another one saying scammers all over the world, man, not only in the fields, part of Asia. Yeah? And again, I acknowledge that, and I say this is a Philippines channel. So we talk about things going on in the Philippines. Here's an interesting one from Steve Montelli. He's got a channel he's had for some time that's doing quite well, but he's just sort of clarifying a little bit around the adultery laws, and this is an important thing to look at. He seems to know what he's talking about here, so that's great to have this information. The adultery law has a few other caveats. Let's assume that the man is a foreigner. Only the offended spouse can file a case, and the case has to be filed against both the wife and the man involved. The case filed would be adultery against the wife and the man. And you've got in brackets there, makes no sense, I know. The man is not the married one. If it's a Filipino man living with a woman, not his wife, the case again can only be filed by the offended party, this time the wife. The case filed is for concubinage and both parties must be charged, just like adultery. Where it gets scammy is when the outsider finds out about the wife living with a foreigner, and even though the husband may not file a case, the outsider goes to the wife, or the adulteress, and threatens he's going to the police with the info unless he's paid a certain amount of money. The unwitting foreigner, because he doesn't understand the laws, pays. If it's a Filipino, nothing usually happens because there's no money to get. Even though there's no divorce, the Filipinos have gone around that and complete written civil separation agreements done in front of the barangay captain and witnessed about the conditions of the separation. It's only when the foreigner is involved the obvious money scam begins. Yeah, that's yeah, very good, Steve. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. It does sort of clarify it a little bit, and it's not as straightforward as it seems. But yeah, basically that's what I was saying, is that a foreigner who doesn't know the laws could actually be, be very scared in that country. He doesn't want to go to jail. Who wants to spend time in a Filipino jail and thinking you might be there for years before it even comes up to court? So they will pay rather than take any risks, and that's what the Filipinos are relying on in this case. So that's just a few of the comments there, guys, as well. So if you haven't seen this video, check it out, then come back. Also, check out my video, The Hidden Filipino Scam, and then tell us what you think about it all. Am I on the money, off the money, what? Okay. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell to get more videos. Take care, and bye for now.